So I'm covering two topics today. The first, what lens is right for portraits? I can't tell you that. It's the lens that you feel most comfortable shooting people with. And until you shoot, the different focal lengths and see what you're most comfortable with shooting people, and nobody can tell you what the right lens is. I know people want to say, well, it's 85, it's the perfect portrait lens, or 105, that's the perfect portrait lens, or 70 to 200. Like, there's all kinds of opinions, and they're just opinions. For me, it's a 50. 50 is my portrait lens of choice every single time. I love it. Now, there are times where I'll get a client that, is a little nervous or doesn't want the close proximity, and then I'll pull out the 75. So that would be, on a mirrorless, regular mirrorless, not the Leica 85. Today I'm using the Voigtlander APO. I've been waiting a long time for this, to use this lens on this camera. Now, I was going to wait for someone to respond to me to get the native mount for the Nikon ZF, but I figured they're not responding because I'm too small of a channel, which is fine. But I liked the fact that I can adapt the M lens, so I can use them on both the Leica and on the Nikon ZF. That's great for me. This way I don't have to buy two separate lenses. If I like this one the way it is, adapted, it's going to be perfect. I did try a couple shots with this 50. Oh my God, it is so sharp. It renders so nicely on this camera, but I haven't shot a person yet. So today I'm going to shoot a person with this. So this is the Voigtlander APO-Lanthar 50mm f2. It is by far my favorite lens of all time. I still gravitate to this lens more than any lens that I own. I just love the rendering of it. I love the correction. It is painfully sharp. It is great for me for commercial type shooting. Don't get me wrong, like if I'm not doing a commercial shoot, I'm doing just regular client that they're not going to be blowing this stuff up or using it to sell stuff. I'm using the Summicron or the Summilux, and most likely the Summicron because I really love the 50 Summicron. But this lens is just absolutely stunning, and it is beautiful on this camera. I'll end up trying the Summicrons, the 35 and the 50 on this camera as well, but I love this setup. This is so nice. And I know people have been talking about this manual focus zoom in feature where it like zooms in on the eye when you have the eye autofocus on, that it works in manual focus. It does. It's pretty impressive. I just held it up to my daughter's picture and it was just like locked onto the eye, and I pushed I have this button here, the front button set for the zoom, for focusing, and it works great. So anyway, so today's shoot is the 50, my choice for portrait lenses. Now remember, I shot a commercial portrait session with a 28mm. It depends on what you're doing, and it depends on you, on what you're gonna like best. Don't go to YouTube and say, what's the best portrait lens? My opinion or anyone else's, especially a professional YouTuber, it doesn't matter what they think. It's what you think because you're using it and you'll be shooting with it. Anyway, let's get to the shoot and see how this combination works. I'm really excited to try this. I love the form factor of this. I'm really enjoying this camera. Not as much as my Leica, obviously, but I'm kicking the tires on this and seeing how I do with it. Anyway, thanks for watching as always, and let's get to the shoot.
I can't tell you how excited I was to try this Voigtlander APO-Lanthar on the Nikon ZF. I'm really excited, but this is 90% about that, and there's another 10% about flash, which we'll get to soon. But I just wanted to be able to zoom in and pixel peep a little bit for you guys so you can see what this lens can do. The micro contrast, the sharpness, everything. It's corrected so well. It is absolutely stunning on the Nikon ZF, I'm sorry. But I'm happy that, the people ignored me and didn't send me the Z mount, because I love the fact that I just have one set of lenses and just have the adapter on the Nikon ZF. Now, flash-wise, I use handheld flash all the time. I love it because I like to carry one light, no light stand, no modifiers. I love this look. And I love the form factor. I want lightweight, easy run and gun kind of stuff. And you can see, like in manual mode, you take your ISO to 800, 1200, whatever you have to, dial that flash down, like, really dial it down. So it's just give it a little kiss of light, making it look a little bit more natural than normal, than a normal flash would look. I mean, here it is again without the flash. I'm just a little bit low on that. So I'm going to take it down to, 200th of a second, ISO 800, and the flash is probably at 0.5 power on the pro photo because it's just kissing the subject, just a little bit of flash, because I don't want it to be in your face flash. And you can see, I mean, it's nice light, it's not too harsh. I know everybody wants the big modifiers and, the big light stands, but this is nice. It looks good. I'm happy with it. And, I can throw the light in my pocket. I don't have to worry about light stands and modifiers and being thrown out of places because I'm using that stuff. These are, it works. Now, this very first one I'm going to show you is I'm going to throw the light on TTL. And this is what TTL does every single time. It's nice light, don't get me wrong, but it is so blatantly flash. So then I'm going to switch over to manual. I'm going to dial that flash way down again. I'm probably at 0.6 to 0.8. I'm at ISO 800 again. And it's still like, you can see it's flash, but it's not as in your face as it was before. And I'm going to dial it back just a little bit more, and you're going to see the difference. It's just a softer light. Now remember, this is not a modifier. Yeah, she has shadow under her chin, but it still looks good. And I'm still getting that really nice look with a handheld flash, and I'm not using, big modifiers or anything like that. I can walk in anywhere and not have to worry about being thrown out because I'm having a light stand and modifier. That's big to me. So this is a nice technique to learn and get used to, because it really does open up a lot more opportunities for you to use flash literally anywhere. Having that hand flash in your hand. And remember, when you're doing it with an autofocus camera, which the ZF is, but I'm using a manual focus lens on it, it is a lot easier. But because of Nikon ZF focus system with manual and how easy it is to manually focus, and that zoom in, is always on the eye, that's, it makes it a lot easier. Anyway, so I'm back in the studio. I'm just using the LEDs again. I wanted to play with the color light on the white backdrop. Believe me, when you're using the color LEDs on a gray backdrop, you can really get some great absorption of the light and great saturation. But I wanted to play with it with the white because I didn't want to set up the gray background, ease of use again. And again, this whole video is about this lens, which I'm not, talking about that much. But what else am I supposed to say? It is beautiful. Like, it renders stunning. It is sharp and micro contrasty for a face. Like, you're going to have to do a little bit more post-processing with somebody with not the greatest skin, because it is that sharp and that well corrected. But if that's what you're looking for, which I love, that's just me. I'd rather have it and then take it down in post versus not have it and try to take it up with fake contrast kind of stuff. But the lens works fantastic on this camera, and yeah, I'm definitely going to be using the 50 APO Voigtlander on the Nikon ZF a lot, especially after seeing these photos. It's beautiful. I believe me, I tried Leica M lenses on other bodies and other cameras and other sensors and so forth, and I didn't get as good of results as I am getting with the Nikon ZF. So that I'm really happy about. And using the adapter, I have one set of lenses instead of having the Z mount, the M mount. I can just use the M mount with an adapter and not worry about it and just have one set of lenses. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video.